Emma, use some limbs you've got.
Limbs. Welcome back to another campervan video. In this video, I'll be adding some roof racks to my van as well as an awning. First things first, we saw some roof racks off of Facebook Marketplace for £100. We actually sourced them mid-March last year, and then we were locked down before we could collect them. Obviously, with the first lockdown, we didn't really know what it all meant, so we was a little apprehensive to go and collect them. As well as that, we were collecting them off a man who was in his 70s. But we were dealing on Facebook with his daughter, and I think she was a little worried for his health with the virus. Really happy he held on to the roof racks for us until a time that it was safer to go and collect them. First thing I did with the roof racks was clean them. Just simply pulled them out into the garden and used the work power washer just to give them a quick blast. I actually already had the awning, as I bought the awning with a van we bought for the company. If you're paying close attention to this campervan series, it's the same van that we bought that I took the back ladder off of. The same one we tried to get the roof racks from before. We bought their van and I paid an extra £50 for their old Fiamma awning, which was pretty decent I thought, considering they're pretty pricey brand new. So I gave that a quick blast with the power washer as well. I then just set them out in the garden just to visualise what I was going to have on the van. The next quick job I did before I whacked them on was add a little bit more sealant to the roof fixtures on the van. Now I've picked up tons of vans that have had a leak in the roof and the person has tried to fix it by whacking a load of silicone around the fixture, and it never works. Always best to pull it all out, pull it all down and reseal it completely. However, if you remember from my previous videos, I know for a fact that my fixtures weren't leaking or letting any water in. So I decided to chuck a load of silicone on top just to add some more protection from the elements. I did this before the roof racks because my plan is to add a roof deck and didn't want to be stuck trying to silicone the edges with a load of wood up there as well. I chucked the middle bar on first, as that didn't have any attachments to the awning, as the last two racks and the awning would have to go up as one unit. We put it on solely so we can measure where the biggest divots come and lie on the side of the roof rack, so we've got to put the awning on the roof rack. Show you it from the top. Here she is. One more here, one more at the front. Awning attached to the side that way, and then some wooden slats. Next thing I did was attach the awning to the racks before putting them on the van. The reason for this was because the awning screws were very long, too long to fit behind the rack, and also wouldn't be able to tighten up the bolt even if they were the right size. Right. So putting the awning on, I've measured from the top there to whereabouts the little groove is in the top of the van. It's about 22 centimetres. So I've just done them. So that's whereabouts it's got to be. Because this bit is to make sure that the awning's not going to get caught on the roof rack. It's got to be at least there. If I put these in, these are way off, but these are what were on the awning anyway for some reason. Probably just to use it as a spacer. That's most likely what I'm going to try and do. I'm going to have to work it out, but yeah, as you can see, look, they're way too long. We've probably got about a little bit, so I'm going to chop them down at one point. Yeah, look. Whether that was used as a spacer before or not, that is like the perfect size. And if you look on the other one, there's two of those bolts, but we're missing one on this one. Oh, there's two down there. So I'm going to give them a try, because if I can use them as the spacer, that would be ideal, because these don't quite fit on them. But I've got a load of nuts there that do fit, which will be easy just to pop on the other side, and then just tighten that up there and just chop it off behind. Right, so here it is. I've actually put 3 little bolts in there, the same that side. Look here, this bolt is rounded off. So what we're going to attempt to do is put it on the roof racks and pull them out, obviously, because it's covered in shit, and try and mount the awning on the roof racks before we put it on the van, which means I'm going to have to round up a posse to help me put it on the van. I had a bit of trouble with the awning actually screwing it onto the brackets. I checked a couple of dodgy looking screws with the intention to fix or make them better if I needed to. About a millimetre off that. And keep an eye on them throughout the trips. 8 months later, I can say that the screws haven't come out and they work fine, even with going into a tree at a beach in Devon.
That sounds horrible.
Metal grinding on metal.
Oh, still. Beautiful. Now get a nut on that.
It's going to be shit hard to put on the van. The awning was then attached to the roof racks, and now I had the task of putting up 2 roof racks and a big heavy awning onto the top of a high top transit van, which definitely wasn't a single man job. So I rounded up the crew, got 3 of my mates round one July evening, and we set about the task of trying to get this thing on the top of the van.
How are we getting it up?
Be gentle.
Well, you're passing it up.
Come up this way.
Guys, we've got to climb up the ladder basically, and me and Red have got to get in the air.
Yeah.
Aerial movements. Oh my lord.
Right.
You got to go higher than that, Rainbow.
Emma, use some limbs you've got.
Limbs.
Right.
Oh, well,
Move over and give it
hang on, the brackets are the wrong way around.
You're flipping it in.
Well, I'm just trying to match the bracket to the other, or the way it looks the other way, rather.
What is it? Are they just both over there?
They're not over yet. That one is, this one isn't.
Is that one gone on that side?
Is there any level of movement we can have on this one at all? Because at the moment, that side's in, this one in.
Hold up, Ray.
Oh my lord, that puts my phone a bit. Right, this one is still wobble land. There's nothing. There we go.
There.
He was your man.
Who's done it?
He was your man.
Is it?
We'll tighten him up before we start shaking it.
Shake it more.
That needs to be screwed in.
Bulldog well. Whoa. Stop throwing stones at you. Huh? Gonna stop throwing stones at you.
We're on the night shift, man.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. It's like 10 o'clock.
Actually,
No way.
20 to 10, that is late.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
Swear on the Lord's name, the vicar lives over there.
This used to be the vicarage, didn't it?
The vicar's spirits live here.
Yeah.
I reckon you see a monk, didn't you, Megan?
Yeah.
Seen a monk?
I literally thought Zach was in the house, like back from football. This was like 3-4 years ago, because I saw someone go across. Like there was quite tall with
Oh, I
like
remember you saying about this.
yeah, like a black cloak or whatever. But I thought it was like Zach in a dressing gown or something. But yeah, I said Jordan, is Zach back this weekend? I didn't know he was coming back, and he said no, and I was like, oh.
Girl in the garden. Girl in the garden.
Scale of the house for any.
Looked, nobody was there. I think your mum and dad was on holiday as well.
So there you have it. I now have roof racks and an awning on the van. The roof racks have been great. We actually took a ledge around with us on a summer trip and ended up using it as a roof deck, which just affirmed my thoughts on wanting a roof deck up there. It'd definitely be used as a little deck to sit and chill up on in the evening times and throughout any times of the day actually, really. But also it will be used as extra storage. So not only that, it'll be handy to have it up there as well. I have used the van this winter to do up our first flat, and the racks have come in very handy, holding everything from ladders, plasterboard and kitchen worktops, which has been really helpful. Although I don't think I'll be keeping the awning on, because it's a very heavy awning, and on the awning side we have the kitchen units, the fuel tank and the water tank. So when everything's loaded up in the van, you can really feel the van leaning to one side. Not only that, we haven't actually used it. Because we were wild camping the majority of the time this summer, it's not very practical just to whip out a massive awning all the time. So what I think I might do is take the awning off of the brackets, but leave the brackets on, so we don't have the hassle of taking all the racks off, just to put them back on again without the awning. But then just add an awning rail onto the side of the van, so that we have the option of having an awning. But it will decrease the weight of the van, so it will come very handy instead of having that big heavy Fiamma awning. That's it for this video. I didn't get round to putting the decking on last year, but it's probably the first job I'm going to do this year, as I'm well excited to get a deck on the top of that van. I'll do a little video on that, as well as the next few videos coming are a few trip videos and a couple more build videos. So stay tuned and subscribe to see the rest of the journey.